Hi, my name is Lily and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing Do I Have That Trope tag. I was tagged by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog, which I will link down in the description below. If you don't know what this tag is, I'm basically going to be given some prompts of different tropes and I've got to try and find books with those tropes on my bookshelves. So this is going to be a challenge because I unhaul a lot basically, so I don't have all the books I've ever read, so I've got to also remember if I still own the book. Just before we get started, you might be able to see my Harry Potter shelves at the bottom here. I'm really sorry that they're in shot for this video. I tried to keep them out of shot as much as possible, but it was just not possible in this video if I wanted to show you as much of the shelves as I could. I just don't have anywhere else to put them because I live in a tiny one-bedroom flat. So the rules for this tag are that I can only use each book once, so I couldn't pick one book and use it for multiple tropes, and also that if I don't have a book that fulfills the trope, I have to add a minute to my time because it's all a bit of a race. You're supposed to try and beat the person who tagged you. Now I scrolled to the end of Maddie's video. I haven't watched the whole thing yet because I didn't want to spoil the tropes. But at the end of her video, she said that she took about 10 minutes, I think. So I've got to try and do this in under 10 minutes. And I have no idea how difficult that's going to be because I don't even know what the tropes are or how many there are. But fingers crossed I can beat that. The way it's going to work is I'm going to give my phone to my boyfriend and he's going to read off camera to me all the different prompts and I will run to my bookcase to try and find books that fulfill that trope. Okay, ready?
Yes. Love triangle, love V, a book featuring a character with two love interests.
Oh, that one's kind of easy. Love book type A.
Enemies to lovers, a book featuring two characters that begin as enemies and then turns into love/lust.
I hate that though.
I know.
I hate enemies to lovers. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I guess Throne of Glass, kind of? Kind of. I'm counting it. Oh, Court of Thorns and Roses would have counted too, but oh well. Okay, next.
The Chosen One, a book featuring a character destined to save everyone/the world.
I'm not going to pick the obvious one because of reasons, so now I'm stuck. I wish I had Throne of Glass still because that would have counted. Oh, Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson.
Found Family, a book showing characters creating a chosen family from friends and those closest to them.
I mean, I've got a lot of gay books, one of those will fit it, right?
I can see one.
Shut up! oh, if you've said that, that's cheating! Wait, no, there's an easy one down here. Where is it? Six of Crows, it's like the only book of mine that you've read.
Grey Morality, a book featuring characters that don't appear either good or bad.
Vicious. That one's easy.
Competitions, games or tournaments, a book featuring one of these as a core element directly involving the characters.
I would say The Hunger Games, but I don't think I've got the Hunger Games books because they're my sisters. So games or tournaments, Warcross?
Yeah.
Warcross kind of counts, right?
It's a game, isn't it?
I'm getting sweaty.
Sibling Rivalry, a book that contains siblings pit against each other.
Pit against each other?
Yeah.
Stop it!
What?
That means you know one that's really obvious and I don't. Shut up. I don't really like rivalry books. Or do I? Is there one that I really love, but that's why you're laughing?
I mean...
Don't give me hints, don't give me hints.
I'm not saying anything. I'm
trying not to swear. This is really annoying.
Keep it clean.
Shut up! I can't think of one. I know I must have one because you're laughing. Sibling rivalry. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what books of mine you've read and that's why you're laughing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When you give in and need my help, I'll give
You're not helping me, I just get a forfeit. If I can't think of one, then I get a minute on my time.
Oh, fun.
Why can't I do this? Why is this so hard? At this point, I'm just getting the time racking up. I feel like I should give in, but I don't want to give in. This is really irritating me. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to give up. I bet there's a really obvious one. Okay, I'm gonna take the forfeit. Moving on.
Alright, Revenge Plot, a book that contains a character/characters whose motivation is fueled by revenge.
Vengeful, it's literally in the title.
Here Comes the Cavalry, a book that just when your protagonist is going to lose, here comes unexpected help.
I mean, that's 90% of YA, isn't it?
I mean...
Where's Illuminate? Illuminate, it happens at least once.
Oh yeah. The Dark Lord, a book containing a character who appears through evil for evil's sake.
Shadow and Bone.
Okay. The Orphan Protagonist, a book featuring a character whose parents are either dead, before, or at the beginning of a book.
Oh, the one I was thinking of, I don't know if it counts. Because she thinks they're dead, but they're not. Spoilers.
Well then, no.
Shut up! Oh. Sky Song.
Okay. The Quest, a book featuring the main protagonist going on a journey for a particular goal.
The Hobbit.
Oh, that's the one I was going to say. Friends to Lovers, a book featuring two characters who have a friend dynamic who eventually develop a romance.
That's my favourite trope. Why can I not think of one immediately? I'm going to go Splinters of Scarlet. Splinters of Scarlet. Because they kind of do that.
The Book-Loving Character, a book featuring a character who loves reading books.
That's hard. I don't think I read many books with that. Shut up! You're so annoying! Because that doesn't help me.
I can't give you any hints, it's so frustrating.
I hate you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Where is it? Why am I losing this? The Fault in Our Stars.
Amnesia, a book featuring a character, normally the protagonist, who suffers from amnesia.
Ah, that's hard. Amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess... no, does it count? No, I don't think it does count. Sleepwalking. I was thinking Mexican Gothic, but that doesn't really count. Amnesia. This is another hard one. I don't remember what happens in any of the books I read. I can barely remember Mexican Gothic and I finished it like an hour ago. Amnesia. I feel like this is another obvious one.
I can't see one. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but you've hardly read any of these books.
Well, ones I do know.
Trying to think. I don't know if I have any. Oh, it is really obvious. Slated, because her mind is literally white.
Magic School, a book featuring a school setting of the magical variety.
Can I cheat and go get one from my TBR?
No.
You don't make the rules. So making a deadly education, because that's literally about a magic school. I think it's the only other one I have. What? Magic school. Oh, I'm being a bit silly again. The Magician's Guild.
The Bad Boy Character, a book featuring a character who is bad/brooding acting character, most commonly paired with a sad/tragic backstory.
I mean, that's all of YA. Where's a Court of Thorns and Roses? Where is it hiding? What colour's the spine? Oh my god, oh, do I still own it? Yes, I do. Come on. A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Resurrection, a book that features a character who you thought was dead is back again. Yeah.
I mean, is it cheating to pick the second book in a series if I've already picked the first book? I don't think so, right?
I don't make the rules.
Why can't I find Gemina? There it is. Gemina.
Redemption Arc, a book featuring a character who was previously bad/evil and who wants to change.
Ooh, that's hard. Again, I think this is going to be really obvious. But I'm really struggling. I thought this would be so much easier than it is. Redemption Arc. Previously evil. I don't think Venom and Viper count because she's not really evil. I'm trying to think of fantasies. Oh. Where's my Percy Jacksons? I'm gonna bend the rules again. The final Percy Jackson book definitely has that.
I've lost my place. Last one. Forbidden Love / romance. A book featuring a romance that can't work.
Oh, that should be really obvious again. Why am I finding this so hard? Oh, okay. Clean by Gina Dawson. Are we done?
That's it.
Finished! What was my time?
9 minutes 21, and then add the minute.
No! No! No, I didn't beat Maddie. I thought I would do this so quickly. I forgot about the forfeit. What one did I forfeit?
It was the siblings pitted against each other.
And you were laughing. What one were you thinking of?
What's the sequel to Warcross?
Wildcard.
Yeah.
Are they pit against each other?
It's the...
I don't remember what happens
It's
in
the
Wildcard.
two brothers, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so that is me finished. I ended up with 10 minutes 20 seconds, so I think I didn't beat Maddie, which is really annoying because I thought this would be so easy for me, but it really wasn't. I really struggled, especially with my forfeit one, because I probably spent like a whole minute trying to come up with a book for it, and then I gained a minute by forfeiting it as well. But I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of the books that I picked and why I picked them. Okay, so I'm just going to be looking at my phone to tell you what the prompts were, but the first one was a love triangle, and I picked Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. This has a love triangle. It's Eva and two of the boys she meets at Love Boat. The next one was Enemies to Lovers, and I picked Throne of Glass. I think any book in this series has enemies to lovers in it at some point, so. The next book prompt was to find a chosen one book, and I picked Percy Jackson. Honestly, I picked a book from Percy Jackson at random because he's kind of like the chosen one throughout the whole series. The next prompt was Found Families, and I picked Six of Crows because the Dregs are all a little family. None of them really have family outside of that. Next was to pick one with characters with grey morality. I picked Vicious by V. Schwab because Victor and Eli are both pretty grey. Neither of them are good or bad. The next prompt was to find a book that had things about games and tournaments, and I picked Warcross because it's literally about the game Warcross. The next pick was a book with sibling rivalry. I really struggled with this one, so I forfeited. I still can't really find one on my shelves that I would say is strictly speaking sibling rivalry. My boyfriend did say Wildcard. Don't really remember much about what happens in Wildcard, but I'll give him that. It probably does fit. The next one was to find a book with a revenge plot, and I chose Vengeful by V. Schwab because it's literally in the title. It's all about, what's her name? Marcella Riggins trying to basically get revenge and everything like that because her husband tried to kill her. The next one was Here Comes the Cavalry. Find a book where it looks like the main character is about to lose and then the cavalry arrives. I chose Illuminate. This happens multiple times in Illuminate. Next was The Dark Lord. Find one where the evil person seems to be doing evil for evil's sake, and I picked Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo because the Darkling doesn't really have a reason, he's just a bad guy. The next prompt was to find a book with an orphan protagonist, and I chose Sky Song by Abby Elphinstone. I think that Esker was orphaned in this book, or maybe multiple of them in the book are orphaned. I just remember there not being adults around. I really hope this counts. The next one was Quest, to find a book where the characters go on a journey for a specific thing, and I chose The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. If you don't know that this one's a quest, then I can't help you, honestly. The next one was Friends to Lovers, and I chose Splinters of Scarlet by Emily Bain Murphy. This one has the main character Marit falling in love with someone she becomes friends with at first. Next was to find a book that has a book-loving character. I chose The Fault in Our Stars because in The Fault in Our Stars a lot of it revolves around the fact that the main character Hazel really loves this one book. The next prompt was to find one that involves amnesia, and I chose Slated by Terry Terry. It's in Slated, when you go against the government regime, your mind gets wiped, and that happens to the main character. Next was to find a book with a magic school. I chose The Magician's Guild by Trudy Canavan. This revolves around a young girl who is from the poor slums and turns out to have magic which shouldn't be possible, and she is taken to the Magician's Guild to learn magic, and it's literally a magic school. The next prompt was to find a book with a bad boy character. I chose A Court of Thorns and Roses. Any book in this series would have fitted because they're all like bad boy brooding, grumpy characters at the start. Next was Resurrection, to find a book where you thought the character was dead but then they're actually alive. I chose Gemina by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and I can't say why for obvious reasons because that is a huge spoiler, but yeah, it happens. The next one was to find a book where there's a redemption arc for a main character, and I chose the final book in the Percy Jackson series because there's a couple of different characters who originally were on the wrong side of the prophecy who then switched sides. Finally, it was Forbidden Romance, find a book that has one, and that was Clean by Juno Dawson because the main character, what is her name? Lexi Volkov, falls in love with someone else at her rehab centre. So those were all the books I picked. As you can imagine, I'm a bit frustrated about this because I thought I would beat Maddie's time. No offence to Maddie, I just thought I'd be really good at this when I wasn't. And also I had to take my forfeit for 60 seconds because I couldn't find one of them. It was really fun though. If you want to do this, I would say have a go, don't have to wait for someone to tag you. And also if you were screaming at me because you could see books on my shelves that would fit any of these prompts, I'm really sorry. Let me know down in the comments if there was any I should have picked, especially for the one that I forfeited. Now I've got to tag people, and this is really hard. I didn't think about this before I started. I think I'm gonna list a few people. I'm not sure if they've already done it, but if they haven't, I would like them to do it. And I am tagging Darian from Darian Reads, Sydney from Sid the Bookworm, Kira from Kira Can Read, and I think that's it for now because I think most other people I'm thinking of have already done this. If I've tagged you and you've already done it, don't worry about it. I'm just coming up off the top of my head as to whether anyone's done it. I haven't looked into this. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see more content from me. All of my social media links are down in the description below. I would encourage you to follow me on Twitter because that's where I'm most active. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.